Moin und jetzt willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Halibut. Jo, wir sind hier im großen Schiff von der FEDORA I und wir haben herausgefunden, dass Slipmeier für alles verantwortlich ist in dieses. Ja, und wir hauen jetzt ab mit dem U-Boot, versuchen unsere Freunde zu retten, irgendwie so zum Beispiel. Auf und davon.
How are you holding up back there, were you?
Oh, it's okay. But it seems quiet without Bridget.
Hey, what are you saying? I'm still on the radio, remember?
Ah, yes, much better.
What do you think of all this drama? I bet none of the Flumelim ever have any crazy schemes.
Yes, it's very curious. It makes sense that if Slippy loves snow sports, he would want to create a snow world. But it doesn't seem like he checked with everyone if they also loved snow sports first.
That's a very balanced way of looking at it.
But I wonder, why didn't he tell anyone? Or why didn't anyone realize he was so sad before all this happened?
Good question. Humans can get very wrapped up in their own stuff, you know? And sometimes people hide their sadness because they don't know what else to do with it.
Are you sad, Harold?
Oh, thanks for asking. No, I'm not. Maybe I used to be.
I'll be sad if we can't stop Slippy. I think all the Flumelim would be sad. I'm going to do my best with the grabby arm, though.
It's going to be fine. We'll figure something out now that everyone is working together.
That's the spirit, you two. Hey, even Raffi is helping.
I am still listening, you know.
Well, good.
But once this is all over, you all definitely owe me some peace and quiet.
It's a deal, Raf. Okay, looks like we're approaching the tube exterior. Bridget, we'll check out what's wrong first.
Great. Keep me posted.
Okay, Bridget, you reading us?
Loud and clear. What's the situation?
We've arrived outside the Agora arcades. It looks like the actual transportation tube is disconnected. Maybe the ice broke it somehow.
Drat! I guess the sudden change in pressure from the ice must have displaced or warped some of the connections. How bad is it?
Well, the good news is the tube itself is in one piece. So, if we can get a good grip with the grabber, we should be able to reattach the main tube and lock it back in place.
And the bad news?
Oh, well, there isn't any extra bad news.
Oh, good. Well, get going, but be careful, Wheel. If the tube cracks, the whole thing will be unusable.
I'll take super care of it.
Okay, let's do this. I'll get us into position now.
Jo, dann mach mal. Vorsichtig. Vorsichtig. Yes. Gemacht. Wii.
I wonder how Team Mareaux is doing.
Well, from what I can see, they're starting to get into the tube, one by one. Chris is doing push-ups while he waits for his turn.
Where are they going?
Well, now they're telling me that the direct connection isn't working for some reason.
Oh, no. What do you think is wrong?
I'm not sure. Could be a few things. Plus, there's the potential side effects of all the ice to consider. Seems like it was only the direct path to the energy district that was down. Maybe a malfunction in the tube's control panel?
Oh, so what now?
They're en route to the central station now. They'll try again from there.
Okay. Keep us posted, Bridget.
Also wieder
That was
zurück.
really impressive grabby arm work, by the way.
Thanks. I just thought about holding on to a slippery fish.
Oh, it seems like the route via central station is working out for them. They're on their way now.
All this makes you realize how reliant we are on those tubes to get around now, huh?
What did you do before then?
Well, we didn't move around as often, and I suppose we only went to places we really needed to.
So you built tubes to move more often to places you didn't really need to go to?
Yep.
Yes.
It is fun zipping through them, though. The whoosh sound, it takes no effort.
Yes. I think I'm glad to have them even with the fines and all the delays.
Good timing, you two. Team Mareaux has arrived now.
So, what was the problem with the tube?
Maybe it was just the electronics being affected by the ice? Whatever it was, it doesn't seem to be affecting the whole system, which is a relief.
Die Mission war doch erfolgreich, ja? Ah, wir halten die Slippy jetzt auf. Den neuen Gauner. Und zack. Geht ja einfach alles ein, ne?
Yeah,
War nix.
the door to the energy harvest is locked too.
Seems like Slippy has barricaded himself using the lockdown routine.
Yes, and the door can't be controlled over the computer system due to the all-water emergency protocols we baked in.
So it can only be opened from the inside? If he's in there doing something slippery, we've got to stop it. What are we gonna do?
Could we ask him?
Even if we wanted to, the emergency protocols block out the security cams and tannoy. To protect potentially sensitive all-water corporation activity, he totally isolated himself.
Super.
Must be nice. No interruptions.
Wait a sec. Bridget, didn't you tell me the agricultural district and the energy harvests were connected?
Ooh, good thinking. Yep, by the retractable conveyors. If memory serves, the one that connects energy to agricultural is near the back of the core.
Rafi, what do we do next?
You'll need to lower them first from their rooftop storage, then power them up.
How do you know all this stuff, Rafi?
I did have a life before the arcade, you know. Anyway, ask me about that later. You're gonna need to align the belts in a continuous path so you can reach the opening that leads to the harvest.
Okay, doesn't sound too hard. Let's go, Wii.
Such teamwork. I'm like a proud mother hen.
Gott sei Glück. Glückerhahn. Jo. Und jetzt? Okay. Dass das alles noch
Okay, you two,
funktioniert.
it's time you got going to the energy harvest.
You going to be okay here?
Yep, I'll stay here to monitor the security cameras and oversee the situation.
I hope it's better to watch than those videos Harold showed me. Everyone shouting and then kissing straight after.
We hope.
Just stay on your guard. And when you see Slippy, tell him I always knew he'd slip up.
Okay. Will do.
Jemand die Telenovelas oder was? Chris sich da immer reinzieht. Und Abfahrt. Ja.
Wii, we don't know what we're gonna find at the end of this. What are we gonna do at the end of this?
You're going to get Slippy.
That's one way of putting it. Well, I'll think of something. It's always me who has to get his hands dirty. Slippy, we're here. It's...
Slipmeyer! I can't even count how many regulations you've breached. Halibut?
the door.
Harold! Whew! Everyone!
Let's not be
Yeah.
hasty. If I could just show you my plans, I was only trying to...
I'll show you a plan!
Boah, Alter.
Oh, shit! My hand!
Well, that settles it, I suppose.
Thanks, Chris.
Is he okay? Gosh, I was overcome with emotion thinking of the children. I hope I didn't overdo it. Please no one tell them about this.
Chris, relax. It's over.
Ich klatsche ihn hier so
So
direkt
is
auf
our
den Leben.
chance at launching after wasting all this time. Oh well, may as well spice things up a bit in the meantime.
Relaunch chance over?
Whatever do you mean, Professor?
I mean that the solar winds are due to begin again, and soon. Too soon. After these shenanigans, we simply won't have the requisite preparation complete in order to meet the safe launch window.
To say nothing of repairing the damage, Slippy's icy debacle probably caused our sensitive instruments.
Well, can't we risk it? What's the worst that would happen?
Well, if we launch late, we run the risk of the solar flares crippling the ship, like last time, and tumbling back into the ocean. And there's no telling if our next landing will be so lucky.
And if we launch on time?
My calculations are nearly complete, but if we time it just a second wrong, we might sink deeper or use up our remaining fuel just to move a few miles away.
And even if your calculations were already done, what with the all-water time theft, it'd probably be late by now anyway.
Time theft? Speak sense, Harold.
I tried to tell you that day in your lab, but we got distracted with the probe. Me and the Lightkeepers, I was gonna tell you I joined them. They're a bunch of teenagers. We found proof that all water were shaving a bit off every hour to help with the energy crisis. So we had even less time than we thought all along.
What are you talking about? How and why do you shave an hour?
So we have to do less work, and to save energy. And, well, actually not every hour, only the ones in daytime. By now, apparently, it adds up to 2 full hours each day.
How? But we would have noticed.
But we didn't because of the introduction of all-water digital time, and they controlled the time in tiny little bits so it would always feel normal.
So, all water fooled us more than Slippy, and we must have... Wait. Saving on daytime? Ah! Harold, you wonderful, beautiful schmuck! If what you say is true, and these days the truth is stranger than one of your little head stories, then it's exactly the opposite of what you think. We have more time than ever.
We do? How does that work?
Think, Harold. If what we perceived as a day of 24 hours was actually only 22, that means that we haven't actually reached today's date yet. Now, let's see. All-water digital time was introduced 8 years ago. Cyrus, check my math.
Well, even if they were shaved up to 1, then 2 hours after a few years, we should have more than 4 months left until the launch window ends.
Oui.
Much as I love it when you're wrong, that means...
My calculations were correct, but time was wrong.
And it explains why we thought the space bacteria would degenerate faster than modeled. Oh, if we had just done the experiment at nighttime.
Oh, wait. Then... And that means... And I was so blind. Time. All along.
It's about time, right, bros?
It's true. This is a matter of urgency. Time is of the essence. We know we were onto something when we noticed Yava's watch didn't match up with the official time.
And what time do you call this?
Party time.
The time is...
I know what the time is.
Time is of the essence. First time's the hardest.
At the same time,
a stitch in time saves 9.
4 at the same time is quite a feat.
And time is running out.
In the meantime...
We don't have time to put you on a proper routine.
But maybe this whole time...
All water is trying to steal time.
Just what do you suppose I'm doing with the stolen time?
Maybe taking the time for yourself?
Now,
if and when the time is right.
We might even have some time for ice skating.
Why not give them all the time?
Your first time at Quick Soup Colorfish?
This will be the last time I explain it to you, so for once, pay attention.
There's no...
Time.
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 Time. Time.
Time.
Time!
All that time.
We're going to need a few words with the Madam CEO if we're to get the exact numbers of when and how much time they've stolen. Speaking of which, has anyone seen her?
We didn't see her on any of the cameras. Nor Zoya. Do you think they escaped being trapped?
Unlikely. They were probably incapacitated by Slippy as part of his plan.
They could be anywhere. We'd better split up and find them. Maybe we should start in the all-water district.
Why don't we just ask him?
I, don't think he's in a talkative mood.
Look, I'm sorry, okay? I was just so overwhelmed. How was I supposed to know he'd take it so badly?
It's okay, Chris. At least he didn't get away. Cyrus, Let's go with Harold and Wii-U to the all-water district. Major, I imagine you'll want to stay with Slippy. Everyone keep in touch via PDA and don't leave any stone unturned.
Let's go.
Oh, and Bridget, can you tell the others over the Tannoy system to search whichever area they're in?
Okay, dann CEO suchen. Notizbuch. Showdown. Chris hatte ja richtig eingebatscht, ne?
It's them. They look fine, and not at all hungry.
Do I look fine?
Well, I mean, it could have been worse. Those snacks are tasty.
Yes. I could have been tied up with you. Can someone please tell me what is going on?
Slippy engineered this whole hoax. He was never really working on a relaunch procedure. His plan was to freeze the planet into a giant ski resort.
How absurd! Professor, I expected better from you.
So there's no relaunch plan after all?
Oh.
I can't believe it. I'll never fly this thing.
Madam CEO, I could say the same about you. We know all about the time hoax, but it's still imperative you clear up a few things.
What good will it do? Still, I suppose it can't hurt at this point. And you did untie me. Fire away.
Firstly, when did you start the time-skimming process?
About 8 years ago. For the good of the ship, of course.
And how much did you shorten the days?
Well, we started with 30 minutes, just letting the clocks run a tiny bit faster during the daytime. Every 2 years since then, we made gradual transition to another half an hour shorter.
And I thought it was my fault those plants were growing slowly.
Cyrus, stop blathering about plants and run the math for me, please.
Okay, so that means 365 hours in the first 2 years, 730 the 2 years after that, then 1,095 hours, and then 1,460 hours, which adds up to 3,650 hours. So we have 152 days left. Or what we think of as today is in fact 152 days away.
Wow. Okay, dann haben wir noch Zeit, das Schiff zu reparieren. Verrückte. Denn er ist 80.190.
But how come none of us noticed?
Aha. This is the clever part. We tacked the shifts to the summer-winter time changes. People's circadian rhythms always go a bit haywire around then anyway. Subtle, no?
So, we have time, but no procedure after all.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Yes, we kind of worked on a thing.
A thing? Kinda.
A secret backup relaunch procedure. We were never taken in by Slippy's showmanship, and sorry to say, Madam CEO, your blind trust in him.
So it took me a while, but I got a little something theoretically up and running. But I was stymied by the time theft messing with my calculations of velocity. That's why my simulation failed that day, you know.
We even double-checked, triple even, and everything.
Well, I won't forget your flagrant distrust in me anytime soon. But I suppose your rebellious streak has borne some interesting fruits. You must explain this procedure to me so we can work on the press release.
So we really might still launch after all?
Yep.
Yes. Funnily enough, there'll be plenty of time for all that. But now, I need tea and a nap.
Yeah, it's been a crazy day. Tea nap sounds good to me.
Spicy tea.
Spicy tea?
Come on, you two. Let's leave Zoya and the CEO to get some rest. I'm sure it was exhausting eating all those snacks.
Yeah.
All meet in the morning to go over next steps.
Okay, I suppose we can postpone the agenda until then. I imagine there will be much that needs doing, including some serious PR damage control.
Okay, dann gehen jetzt alle ins Bett. Oh, wieder das Schiff wieder flott gemacht. Chris kriegt eine Ehrenmedaille und alle anderen auch hier. Bio und Harold. Die tanken wieder alles voll. Sie hat keinen Bock mehr. Keiner mag ihre Cupcakes. Und Sleepy darf den Müll einsammeln. Er kriegt seine Freizeit. Und Buddy ist immer noch tot. Ui, ist sogar eine Mutter. Die stellenweite Berechnungen. Ja, so könnte es funktionieren. Und er drückt auf Knöpfe. Na super. Er hat sogar eine Modellrakete. Schmeißt die doch nicht alle weg, ne? Gib's sie doch den Leuten. Ist auch eine Verschwendung. Gute Material. Und wie lange haben sie jetzt gebraucht? Wow, noch 4 Tage. Alter. Tag 18.338 war's. Also langsam müssen wir zusehen, dass die hier abhaut, ne? Wenn er noch was werden soll. Ansonsten erst in 80 Jahren, ne? Was haben wir denn hier Schönes? Der Slipmeier da oben rechts sein. Okay, das glaube ich schon. Mit den Giraffen. Der Jung. 10 neue Nachrichten. Wir hatten Sandor. An die verehrte Jury. Es war mir eine Freude, mit Ihnen zusammenzuarbeiten. Trotz unserer Meinungsverschiedenheit freue ich mich, Ihnen das endgültige Urteil zu verkünden. Von den 24 Wochen des Sozialdienstes als höchstmögliche Strafe muss John Sleepy Jr. 12 davon leisten. Mögen wir alle einen Nutzen aus seinen Fehlern ziehen. Sandor. Hat nur 12 Wochen an meine hochgeschätzte geschworene Jury. Ich bitte Sie, den Halo-Effekt nicht zu unterschätzen. Es wäre überaus nachlässig von uns, wenn wir die Auswirkungen einer Tat danach beurteilen, wie wir zu dem Mann stehen, der dafür verantwortlich ist. Vor allem, wenn es sich um Freiheitsbeschränkung handelt. Sandro. Sonny. Harold, ich habe dich schon ewig nicht mehr gesehen, aber... Oder Wii U. Es ist immer gut, sich unter die Leute zu mischen. Komm doch als... So bitte mal öfter vorbei. Ja, die will bestimmt noch was von unserer... Meine CEO. Hey Leute, Allwater hier. Wie geht's? Wir haben überlegt, es hat sich so viel verändert und wir müssen das auch. Zeit für frischen Wind. Was wäre da der erste Schritt? Muss ich meinen spießigen alten Titel als Vorsitzender ablege? Wir wollen eher sowas wie eine große Familie sein als ein Unternehmen. Also steht in mir eine Mutti Brenner, statt Vorsitzende Kesselhaupt. Weitere Aufregung, Neuigkeit, folgen später. Klingt eher so, als wäre sie entlassen oder zurückgetreten. Ne? Muss mal kurz husten. No, schon viel besser. Und Sleepy, meine verehrten Fedoraner, ich schreibe euch voller Reue darüber, was geschehen ist. Obwohl ich im Geiste der Einheit und zum Besten aller handelte, sind einige Fehler unterlaufen. Ich habe das Ziel verfehlt, das ich mir gesetzt habe. Es ist schade, dass einige Individuen entschiedene Ansichten zu meinem Handeln hatten. Ich verspreche, mich zu bessern und hoffe, dass diese gerichtliche angeordnete Nachricht zur vollsten Zufriedenheit ausfällt. Na, eher nicht so. Du Schlepp. Schlepplogistik. Wir helfen beim Schleppen mit 2 Kartons gratis. Einfach auf den Link klicken und bestellen. Die Bestellung weiterer Kartons führt automatisch zum Abschluss eines Abonnements. Die beste Art, zuverlässig und ökonomisch zu schleppen. Von Bridget. Harold, entschuldige die Störung, aber du hast Felix heute nicht zufällig gesehen. Er sagte uns, er würde mit dir abhängen, aber er müsste längst im Bett sein. Tube Hopper. Harry, wenn meine Mutter fragt, ob wir zusammen abhängen, tun wir okay. Sei bloß kein Riesenarmarsch. Aber was hat Tommy hier noch? Nun, Harold, wenn du dich einsam fühlst, dann komm auf ein Bierchen oder zwei kurz vor Ladenschluss vorbei. Vielleicht stößt sogar Filter Frankie dir zu. Ah, so. Bio hat auch ein Baby, ey. Nicht vergessen. Globula. Jo, na. So, was geht denn hier noch ab? Das Spiel ist immer noch nicht vorbei, ja. Wo wohnt Bio jetzt eigentlich wieder zu Hause oder was? Na, wir reden noch mal eben kurz mit Prof hier.
Ah, hello, my boy.
Hey, Professor. How are you holding up?
Just fine, just fine. Preparations for the relaunch have gone swimmingly.
Ah, great. So they're nearly done?
Yes, we're really just putting the finishing touches on now.
Wow. Can you believe we're about to try and take off after everything?
I knew we'd figure out a procedure. But I would never have guessed at what it took to get there.
Are you excited to see space again?
Yes. But that's not to say I won't miss this place. It had a certain watery charm and plenty of scientific curiosity. But you know, I'm getting old. My real wish is to step foot on real ground.
Yeah. It was nice to be outside of the Fedora in the cave, but I suppose that's not what you're thinking of.
Indeed. I'd like to see the sky. But enough about me. How are you feeling about leaving Wiu and the Flimmerlim? I know you grew close to it all.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss Wiu. I'll miss it all. But this is our path, right?
I think so, my boy. You'll always cherish the time you had with them. But don't you want to continue the mission? Get back to finding a real home?
Yeah, it makes sense, I suppose. Do you think we will?
I'm not sure. But what do we stand to lose?
True. True.
Have you said goodbye to Wiu and the Flimmerlim yet?
Not really, no.
Well, no point putting it off. Saying goodbye only gets harder the longer you leave it. And so send them all my regards.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And Harold?
Yeah?
You'll miss Wiu, but over time, it does get easier. You'll be busy once we're back on course. It'll feel like a whole different life.
I know. I know.
Jo, das ist der Weg, ja. Verabschiede dich von Wiu. Sobald ich bereit bin und alles erledigt ist, verabschiede ich mich von Wiu in der Höhle. Ja, aber ich mache diese Folge jetzt ein kleines bisschen kürzer. Okay, 28 Minuten ist jetzt auch nicht so viel. Ich weiß nicht, vielleicht kommt noch eine, vielleicht noch zwei. Ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher, wie lange sich das noch hinzieht. Wir werden nochmal mit allen quatschen. Diese Folge ist dann aber vorbei, Leute. Ich bedanke mich ganz herzlich fürs Liken, fürs Abonnieren, kommentieren. Freue mich, dass ihr hier bei der Story mit am Start seid. Ich bedanke mich auch ganz herzlich bei meinem Kanal-Unterstützer, dem Gerd. Sascha, ist halt so, H2O, so und nein, Baby. Ich wünsche euch einen wunderschönen Tag. Und ich sag mal, bis dann.